Hey everyone, Mike here today with Season 3 of SnowRunner, the Locate and Deliver DLC. So we're going to go ahead and continue here. This is part of Wisconsin, USA. It's a pretty neat DLC. It is so far the more positive one on Steam. It's a 73% positive. So it's a little bit better than the previous one, which was Yukon, Canada. And we'll take a look at the vehicles in a sec. But yeah, again, 2 maps. This first map is not too bad. A lot of, simple pathing around the edge, if you will. If you have to go to the opposite direction for missions, this side of the map is a little bit more challenging. We've got flooded areas, got muddy area. We've also got a very hilly area to deal with. Again, more steep hills here, and risk of tipping. So I found these DLCs overall were not too bad. There's a new mechanic as well. You can have a portable generator trailer, and you can just drop your trailer, run it, and then it'll allow you to create certain items. That trailer will consume gas or fuel, so you need a certain amount of fuel for certain items, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So it's a different mechanic as opposed to depending on the warehouses. However, this map will also make use of metal buildings and wood buildings and brick buildings like we saw on the Canadian map. So you can steal some of those resources and use them to finish off missions. And then this is the other map. This one is a little bit more restricted, which we'll take a look at in just a bit. So head to the garage. There are 3 vehicles in this DLC. Again, I'm using the real life mod, so there will be a couple of things that are slightly different. This Pacific, I painted it white because it's got no upgrades on it. Got a couple engine, ignoring the experimental one, of course. We've got a couple engine options. And that's about it. This one is all-wheel drive. You can get locking diffs as well, which help make it pretty decent. So it's basically a versatile truck. Of course, some of these add-ons, again, the DLC allows you to use, or the real-life mod allows you to use more add-ons than what's potentially available on this truck. So I wouldn't count on all of these being available, but there's definitely a decent amount of add-ons you can use. So I use this truck for a little bit, but I've not been using it much recently. Instead, I take advantage of these 2 trucks. So these 2 vehicles are pretty useful. The Paystar Twin Steer. This truck is pretty crazy. Now, with the mod that I'm running, I can actually run 2 equipments. So I can run a flatbed or the the sideboard bed. And I can also have a saddle hitch. Now, with the stock game, you can't do that, so just keep that in mind. But this is a pretty long truck. It's pretty capable. It's got quite a bit of power when you get it. So it's pretty good. You've got 6 powered wheels at the back. You can lock the diffs. You can go into all-wheel drive as well. So it's a very capable vehicle, but without being able to stack the 2 additions, 2 different add-ons, it does make it a little bit less capable on the stock game. I think it's still good, but yeah, it's long. So that's kind of the compromise. With that said, then the Boar 45318, I don't know. This thing is really good. This is a big truck. Again, stock, it's got a decent engine. The engine upgrades are a little bit more powerful in this mod, But other than that, yeah, these entire choices and not a ton of upgrades possible, but this is a truck that you'll be using to carry out trailers and stuff like that. So I quite like it. It's, yeah, it's strong. It doesn't tend to sink very much. It's got a lot of power. It's a very nice truck to use outside of this DLC. So as with the other video, we'll just kind of do a quick, there we go. As I say, I ran into a sign. Gotta be careful for when it freezes. I don't want the physics to cause too many weird things to happen. Yeah, this map here, like I said, the generator is a new mechanic. It's interesting. They make you go up this, like, I don't know, river flood thing. It's not really flooded, but maybe a mudslide. I don't know. They make you go up to the tower that way. Makes for kind of an interesting mechanic, I guess. It's a little bit of a different design. But this map is generally not too bad. There's a lot of driving involved, but there's also different ways to get to everywhere. This is what I was talking about. Water flooding runoff, mudslide, whatever. Could be any of those. But yeah, you'll be spending quite a bit of time just driving around, grabbing stuff from one area, moving it to another. One of the things I've done pretty often is actually go through the middle of the map, the island. So we might do a shortcut there. Actually, there's a bit of a water crossing if I keep going straight. So there's a lot of going through here, which results in some interesting situations. As you can see, there's a bit of water, and then it continues in the distance. So yeah, this part of the map, it's definitely not the easiest to deal with, because you'll find yourself coming into here to pick up stuff, and then you can backtrack, or you can off-road and then rejoin the main road, or you can also go this way. So I found myself driving through the water spot pretty often. You know, if I reset a truck back to the main station, or I'm getting another new truck from the garage, what have you. I found myself using this area quite a bit. Other than that, yeah, this is a really straightforward map. You know, you're going to be going in a lot of different areas to pick up various bits and pieces, but overall, it's not very challenging. It's not super long or tedious necessarily. You're just going to be spending a decent amount of time going back and forth. Again, this is another DLC with 2 maps. So they want to make it feel like you've got a lot of content, so the missions are a bit longer. They kind of compensate for the fact it's only 2 and not 4 maps, like some of the base game mission, or some of the base game regions have. Yeah, this area here is multiple stages to building up this warehouse. We'll be using this map and the other map to bring stuff around. So if I keep going straight, that's kind of how you get to the other map. Just going through these patches of pavement or compact dirt with a couple little swampy areas like here being a little bit tougher. There's a bridge here and a bridge here and a bridge here if you have to cross over. And so one of the things that I definitely did was to kind of go down here and maybe up in here, or this warehouse if I want to go to that warehouse. There's a couple ways of doing it. You can actually just follow the shore quite a bit of the way, or you can work up the middle there. I forget how it was. Yeah, go down and then back into here. I think the way actually I was normally doing it was this way. Yeah, that's more like it. That feels about right. Or sometimes the cargo area down here as well. But you can see there's houses on the edges of the map. I think that's one of them. I did a mission there. You know, another random house. Random house, random house. And then there's one. No, not that one. This one. Maybe this one. Those could have been for missions. There's one there too. So there's a lot of these like houses you'll be salvaging resources from, which makes it a little bit longer because they're all kind of on the edge of the map somewhere. So you'll be spending a lot of time just driving around for that. Yeah, overall, you know, it's a decent DLC. Again, like the previous Yukon map, I think generally good. They try and pad out the playtime by making you bring up multiple different truckloads of resources instead of just once, like the base game tended to do. I don't have a huge problem with that if the maps are good and fun to drive on. And this map is generally pretty decent and fun to drive on. Obviously there are caveats to that. Anyway, you get the idea. The rest up here is just normal forest stuff, so not too much to show off. Let's retain that. Actually, I have to retain this one. We'll use the twin steer in this map. The second map is interesting because I feel like you use very little of the second map. Everything you need to access is kind of just on the main road. So, yeah, obviously your two connections. If you take the left connection, you can see the paved road all the way down. There's no challenges there. If you want to use the other one, it's mostly paved. And this is compacted dirt, so it's not too bad. And then, yeah, you cross here. You can cross on the ground. And then kind of do something like that. And that'll get you there. You can also go this way, I suppose. Or if you really want to complicate things. Yeah, that's it. You can do it that way. I'd say overall, yeah, this map is interesting because you can see where the roads are, and then everything else is like trees. So like other than these buildings that you're gonna loot for building material, and there's a couple more here. Yeah, you loot those buildings. You're not gonna spend a whole lot of time. This train track here, you'll spend a bit of time repairing it. Again, not too crazy. But yeah, for most missions, you're not spending a whole lot of time, you know, going down to the sawmill or the storage down there. You're trying to reduce the amount of time you have to go out. Same here. There's like maybe one or two missions in this area. And then there's one where, you know, you do your driving down here, hop across, hop down, go rescue someone, and then drive them back or something. Anyways, we'll We'll drive it super quick. Like I said, it's not... The second map is not super jam-packed, you know. You'll be spending a lot of time just driving from point A to point B, you know. Hey, I need this resource. I can't craft it, or whatever. I have to go to this second map, get it, and then drive back. There are a couple missions, though, scattered around. So it's not like you're not going to those empty areas. It's more like you're not going to stumble upon them. It's, you know, there's no pathing going through them. Like, all the pathing is kind of concentrated in the middle. And so you don't have a reason to drive to those areas other than very specific missions, or if you have to leave the buildings once, kind of thing. Yeah, you can kind of see how this truck, you know, it's capable. It's a little awkward. And with the mod, it's a decent truck with the mods. Even without, I think it's still decent. It's just the compromise of not being able to use all of the length makes it a little bit less interesting if you're not running the mod. You know, you're stuck with one attachment. And then the length can be a little bit of a problem. At least this map is generally pretty wide open. So this map fits pretty well. You're not going to be getting stuck necessarily very often. And so if you need a lot of tires on the ground and a lot of grip, I found this truck to be pretty good. So I think that's about it. Trying to think if there's anything else interesting, and nothing's necessarily coming up to mind. So yeah, we're 17 minutes, 18 minutes in. So I think that's about it. Yeah. So once again, this is Season 3, located in Louisville. It's a DLC for SnowRunner. Overall, yeah, I could see 73% positive. That sounds about right. It's a little bit more interesting than the Yukon map because there's no snow. I think ultimately the snow stuff was fun up to a certain point. And I think a lot of people are a little frustrated and want to change of pace. So not seeing snow here is always fun, even though it's in the name of the game. But yeah, won it here. Hopefully next week will be Season 4, and that'll be the final video here on SnowRunner for now. I've not purchased Year 2 DLC, but anyways, we'll talk about that next week.